Zuffa Boxing 2 did not disappoint. What an epic night of fights. I'm Molly Karam alongside Antonio Tarver, Michael Coppinger. Guys, my goodness, so much action tonight. I mean, unreal.
Oh man, where can we start? The headliner, the main event delivered. What can I say about both of these fighters? They came with it. Rayo fought with the experience of a veteran. And if you can't box, you're not going to beat this young man. He used everything, his skill, his patience, and his poise. Here's the southpaw right here landing clean combinations. Even though he was in there with a real dog tonight, he controlled all of the action.
And especially after the cut in round 4, it was just all Rayo. The conditioning, the movement.
Yeah, look, Rayo's a much more experienced fighter. I mean, Max mentioned it many times, right? Gary Russell, he lost to in his last fight. Gary Russell's a top fighter and a dog and a pressure fighter. Jose Valenzuela, he scored a spectacular knockout of Chris Colbert a couple of years ago. He beat Pitbull Cruz, who's relentless, so I'm not surprised. Very disciplined gate boxing plan in there, and I'm expecting to see more big things from him.
It felt like 135 was the right move.
Yeah, it showed. I think that is his right move. He has the power, he has the strength, and like I said, the footwork. He's a classic boxer. If you can't lay a hand on this guy, there's no way you can beat him. And he's so smart in there. You're gonna have to be, like I said, a real technical fighter to beat Rayo.
Cop, you know where I'm coming to you. Let's talk about what's next. Edwin De Los Santos just signed with Zuffa Boxing. You know, he lost to him a few years ago. Could we see a potential rematch? What do you think?
I think that's a no-brainer, Molly. And look, Edwin De Los Santos is a very underrated fighter. He's a guy that gave Shakur Stevenson all he could handle a couple of years ago. We saw Shakur Stevenson, of course, last night put on a masterclass against Teofimo. But De Los Santos, really twitchy guy, fast hands, big power, and not fighting against Valenzuela. Only less than 3 rounds, Molly. It was a classic. Both guys were on the canvas. I want to see it again.
Hold that thought, because we'll have much more on this fight in just a moment. But I want to go back ringside to Max Kellerman, Joe Tess, and Andre. And Max, you were so hyped for this card. Give me your biggest takeaways.
Molly, I'll give you the takeaway from not only this week, but last week.
Okay.
You know, we're in an era now where TV shows are written for what's called secondary devices, because everyone's on their phone, right? So writers write stuff very obviously because they know you're paying half attention. Hey, maybe they can follow what's going on. Boxing, is not just competing against every sport. It is competing against every form of entertainment for your attention. And I mentioned last week, the hope here at Zuffa Boxing is that when you sit down and turn this on, you will feel at the end of the night that it is time well spent. I'm a boxing fan. Tonight was time well spent.
Dre, what was your final takeaway tonight?
The matchmaking has been phenomenal in these first 2 shows, where nobody's overmatched, nobody's undermatched. They're right down the middle, and it's producing really good fights, and it's causing the fighters to fight better than you actually have seen them fight in their previous fights, because the competition is right where it needs to be. Really enjoyed the main event with Valenzuela. You know, we talked about the landmines in the sport of boxing and how it's not if you're going to step on them, but when and how often. You're going to have losses, you're going to have bad moments, you're going to have bad stretches sometimes, and oftentimes boxing will write you off. They'll push you to the side or to the wayside and say you're just an opponent. Opportunities are not there for you anymore. But Valenzuela, I appreciated his response to adversity. He took a loss. It wasn't a good loss, it was a bad loss. But he came back and he said, let me retool, go to my previous weight class, and he showed up tonight and showed that he's got a lot left in the tank. He's still a championship caliber fighter. He put on a great performance against a very tough opponent. Kudos to him. I'm excited to see a lot more from him.
Joe, I said that the main card was an album with no skips.
Yes.
It's a real.
Were there any skips?
No, not tonight.
No.
Not tonight.
And Molly, let me share my final thought here with you.
Please do.
And it comes with what we saw with Hot Rod Kalajic. There is a reason why all the great sports movies are based on boxing. At its best, this is cinema. At its best, this is what you go to pay to see at a movie theater. What you saw in the 7th round, when it was basically hopeless, when Hot Rod was down twice, and suddenly the movie script is written. At its very best, there is nothing like the fight game.
Absolutely, Tess. And someone said Zuffa Boxing has arrived and called the upset. And that is this man, Antonio Tarver. And he was all hyped up about his Florida guy in Hot Rod. Let's go there right now. Take me through, I mean, during the fight, right, we thought Gvozdyk was in control. And then all of a sudden, the big shot to the chin. Take me through your thoughts.
You know, early on, I thought, and Hot Rod even said it, you know, it was ring rust. He didn't really feel like himself in there. And, you know, he let my guy get out to a complete dominant start.
2 knockdowns.
2 knockdowns, but I knew he had it in him to really regather himself. And all he had to do is get out those first 3 or 4 rounds, and it would come to him. I know Hot Rod has a right hand out of this world. All he had to do is get it in. And boy, did he get it in when he needed it the most. You know?
Cup, before I come to you, we got the sound of his corner talking to him. Let me play that for everyone real quick.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Stop questioning yourself.
Listen, you know why? Because you're staying there. Where are my feet?
All right.
Run around them, stutter step, feints. You're just laying there flat. Okay? We're down.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? We gotta get busy.
Way
But
too
you gotta,
much in
you
my
gotta stay
ear.
responsible.
All right.
Breathe in.
Showing so much defense, bro. You're taking control in moments with your jabs and feints. You gotta fire after.
Listen,
Don't
just
overthink it.
Get that rhythm with a high long. Get that rhythm. You're very just, okay? Come on. Breathe in.
Deep breaths.
Come on.
This is
You
it.
good?
Yeah.
This is everything, buddy. This is where we gotta catapult, bud.
Trust yourself.
Okay? Leave in it. Knuckle down on his ass. Set it up, knuckle down. Let's go.
We felt Gvozdyk had this in the bag, and then Hot Rod showed up, pulled off the upset, just like you called it. So, Cup, he knocked down a top 10 light heavyweight. So where does this put him?
Yeah, I think first off, Molly, we should expect a shakeup in the Ring Magazine rankings this week, right? Gvozdyk was number 9. I would expect for Hot Rod to occupy that spot, if not number 10. That's big, of course. And I spoke to his manager, Ryan Rickey, after the fight. He said, of course, Hot Rod wants another crack at a title. You know, he lost to Beterbiev years ago. He wants a shot at the Ring Magazine light heavyweight champion, Dmitry Bivol. But in the meantime, we also have Umar Jambakov. Russia's Umar Jambakov, undefeated fighter, young guy, quality guy. He's going to be fighting February 15th against Ahmed Albiali. So I think that's a natural fight for Hot Rod as well, and another action fight.
What would you like to see for Hot Rod next, Antonio?
Well, I would like to see him fight a more familiar fighter. You know what I'm saying? Someone that has a little bit more credibility in the game, someone that can give him, you know, a fight that can
Like a
put his
David
name,
Benavidez?
a big name like that. I
Okay.
think he deserves it,
Okay, absolutely.
especially after this performance.
You guys want to keep it rolling here and go to the co-main, because that was exciting too. That was a really close
Yeah.
fight, and obviously it came down to the final round there, and you heard Sergey say he was fighting for his country, right? How much that meant to him, obviously Ukrainian. Take me through your thoughts on that one.
I just think Butiev he spent himself in the first 4 or 5 rounds. I mean, he came out with the right game plan. I love the fact that he was digging to the body. It looked like he was taking some steam off of Borchuk, but he seemed like he flattened out round 5 and 6, and he just didn't have the energy. It looked like conditioning cost him this
Yeah,
fight
you
tonight.
said when we were watching it, you thought that Butayev was gassed by the 5th round. But the other thing you had mentioned to me is that you actually thought it was a mistake that he was switching so much.
Yeah, I just didn't understand it because he had things going his way. You don't switch if you have things going your way. You switch when you can turn the tide and maybe change it in your direction. So this gave Borchuk some opportunities, and he never let Butiev back in the game.
What do you think, maybe Boachuk, Callum Walsh?
I think it makes a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense, Molly. I mean,
Just putting on my matchmaker
You're
hat, I can
matchmaking
take
now.
it off right now.
Yeah.
you know, that's a big step up for Callum Walsh, but I'd love to see it. Walsh is improving all the time. Boachuk is already on the world-class level, improving there. Let's not forget, 2024, Boachuk fought Virgil Ortiz here in Las Vegas and dropped a close decision loss. A lot of people thought he won that fight. Virgil Ortiz is number 1 in Ring Magazine's rankings. Now, of course, we don't have the junior weight classes. Boachuk fighting at 160. I thought the fight tonight could have won either way. That was a drawish type of fight.
Yeah, it was.
96-94, 2 times for Boachuk, and then 1 time for Butayev. Butayev fought great too. I want to see more of him.
Yeah, let me throw out another name for you, Misael Rodriguez.
Ooh. I think Misael Rodriguez, you know, good fighter, but that's a tough fight for him to fight Boachuk. Boachuk is a lot to handle.
So you're pulling for the Callum Walsh. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with much more, recapping an epic night of Zuffa Boxing 2. Do not go anywhere.
No surprise there. His uncle loves firefights. His uncle's one of my favorites. Good trainer as well. So Justin Valoria, only 21 years old. Lightweight division's wide open, and it's, of course, one of the boxing glamour divisions. I want to see a lot more of Justin Valoria, fast hands, and he likes to go to the body, right, Antonio? Anytime the guys go to the body, we like those guys.
And we want to see Oscar Perez back. He fought a heck of a fight.
He did.
There wasn't a whole lot of separation here. Both fighters did great things, and they kept it coming. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both of these fighters at the top.
Yeah,
when
and
it's all
Andre
said and
Ward
done.
during the fights was saying that he was really impressed with Perez. He was even better than on the film.
Yes.
But just going back to Valoria, he only has 11 fights. Anything you saw from either of these guys that could be cleaned up?
Tonight, no, I think they performed well, very well. I mean, you have to get in great shape. Sometimes we don't know the threshold of championship conditioning, and I think we saw that in some fights. Some fighters flatten out after 3 or 4 rounds.
Both southpaws. What do you think's next for Valoria?
I think Valoria, just keep developing him, keep raising that level of competition steadily, progressive matchmaking. I hate to see fighters stagnate by fighting guys that they, easily going to beat, not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
That happens with a lot of promotions. I don't expect it to happen here in Zuffa. I think the matchmakers are smart, and we'll see him rise his level of competition steadily.
Absolutely, and he needs a busy schedule at Zuffa Boxing. And then, of course, Jaleel Hackett.
Yeah.
Out of the DMV.
Yeah, he has the energy. I like Jaleel. He has the power. But I think he should box a little bit more, mix that boxing and fighting up a little bit better.
Yeah, look.
It looked like he might have got him out of there early.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, look, Molly, anyone who goes from the DMV, I am a fan of. I went to school in the DMV, so props to Jaleel Hackett, although he told me he's an Eagles fan. And
yes, he's an Eagles fan, even though he's in Commander's territory.
That's really sad to me. I can't take that.
But he also said he's just like Nick Saban. So his offense is his defense.
Well, that's true, right? Because he's wearing Mexican flag on his trunks. So anyone who respects the Mexican fighting style.
100%. All right, let's look ahead to February 15th when we will all be back here. And we're pretty fired up for that. We're going to have 2 heavyweights, Ajagba and Martin. I know you can't wait for this one, Cop.
No, I can't wait for this one. Efe Ajagba is a massive puncher. Number 8, Ring Magazine heavyweight rankings. I was in Riyadh last year when he pulled off a draw with Martin Bakoli, a scary fighter who was on a big tear. And Ajagba, a lot of people thought he won that fight. It was an unpopular draw, so Ajagba's feeling good right now. Charles Martin, former heavyweight title holder. Of course, he lost to Anthony Joshua years ago, but he's been in a lot of firefights. That fight with Adam Kovnowski was tremendous, and the Luis Ortiz fight, Antonio.
Yeah, and when you look at a guy like Martin in this position, you give him a young fighter like Ajagba, man, that's like giving a steak to a guy like Martin, bro. He's going to come. I think we're going to see the best Martin. He's going to come to win.
And we can never forget, right, that crazy viral moment years ago when Efe Ajagba steps into the ring, the opponent walks in, and then after a second he walked out. He said, you know what, I want no part of this man.
Yeah, and our Heidi Andral caught up with Efe Ajagba. Heidi.
Thank you very much, Molly. Well, Efe, Zuffa Boxing, you were here as a spectator. In just a couple weeks, you'll be headlining on February 15th. Just take us through kind of your take of the night here, being here for Zuffa 2.
Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful. It was nice. I enjoyed the fight. I'm so excited. To be here. It was great.
Yeah, nice to kind of get a feel for the building and the atmosphere. It's definitely a little bit different here in the Meta Apex. What did you take away from this weekend that's going to help prepare you just in terms of that?
Just to put my confidence back, it's been a while, This is my last fight since I think May, if I'm mistaken. So now I'm trying to come back to fight again, I'm happy to be here.
I remember when you stepped on the scene, when we talked to you, you were a baker back home, and so much has changed in your career. You're now ranked number 8. You're knocking at that door, right? This is your first former champion that you will have faced. What are you expecting from this test?
I'll be tested for a lot of fighters. This is not my first test. But I know it's going to be good. It's going to be a great fight, So I'm looking forward to it.
He's certainly got more experience in some of those bigger fights. So, what is key for you against a guy like Charles Martin?
I have to stick to my game plan. Work hard. Right now, we've not sparred together. Stuff like that. I have to see what he got in the ring on Saturday. February 15. Let me see what he got. So right now, I have to stick to my game plan. So.
I was going to ask that. I know you guys have been on the same fight cards, you've been in the same rooms, but never sparred with him. Take me through just this Zuffa experience for you. I know you train in Houston. Have you been out to the Performance Institute? Have you been using that, and are you planning to just stay in Vegas for the next couple of weeks until your fight?
Yes. Actually, I live in Houston. Yes. Anytime I have a fight, I came here for Vegas for training. That's when I'll be training. Vegas it's kind of like desert it's hard for me to breathe, So it's kind of like me to train in Vegas. And Coach Ken gym, it was in Vegas, So, But as for the UFC gym and facility, it was great. This is the first time I've been training for years, like training without recovering, So this is the first time I've been recovering so fast. So it was great. I'm so excited to be here. It's going to be good.
Recovery is certainly important. Why should fans tune in? Obviously, it's the big boys, the heavyweights at the top of the card here at the Meta Apex on February 15th. What can they expect?
You guys have to watch the fight. It's going to be a great fight. Don't miss it. Yes. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great show, So I want to put all the show, to make the fans so excited about the fight.
As we say in boxing, don't blink for that one. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time to stop by, Efe. Guys, Molly, we'll send it back to you.
Heidi, Efe, we won't miss it. Can you please just tell people the story that his opponent walked out after
Curtis
1 second?
Hopper?
Yes.
Yeah, he used to be in my training camp, unfortunately. But you know what? That might have been the best decision he ever made after I see how this guy punches.
Scary puncher.
Yeah, he's scary.
Unbelievable. All right, Dana White is at the press conference. Let's throw it to Dana.
All right, the performance nights went to Valenzuela and Hot Rod, and then fight of the night was the Boachuk fight. They all won $50,000. Congratulations to them.
Dana, congrats on tonight. What were your overall thoughts on Zuffa Boxing 02?
It was a great card. Yeah, great card. Yeah, great fights.
First show was solid, but I feel like today things really got going with all the finishes early on, and obviously that spectacular main card. So what were your thoughts on that main card and how it delivered?
The first card, what?
That it was solid, but I feel like things really got going today with all the finishes early on, and obviously how the main card delivered.
Yeah, it happens. No matter how good the matchmaking is, guys got to show up and deliver. And they all did tonight.
Yeah, and I think the matchmaking was really good today. Did anyone stand out to you today from all the amazing performances?
First of all, the Hot Rod came back, literally was getting beat the whole fight, and to win the way that he did was incredible. It was a great fight.
And what do you think, were there any improvements from the first show to the second show that maybe the fan couldn't catch? Maybe some things you guys worked on behind the scenes?
Well, the production's going to continue to get better. Like I said last week, this is a whole new team that we're building here, on this boxing show. So it's just going to get better every time we do it. You got to get the reps in.
Yeah. A couple last ones for me. Overall thoughts on that main event between Rayo Valenzuela and Diego Torres?
Overall,
Rayo Valenzuela, Diego Torres main event.
Yeah, listen, the whole card. There aren't any fights that's I wish this one was better. It was a great night. Great night. Everybody fought their ass off, and yeah.
Last one for me. I know you were in town here in Vegas during the week, but what was your thoughts on last night's actions and how Alexander Volkanovski retained his belt?
What were my thoughts on last night?
Yeah.
The thing that stood out was the toupee for me last night. One of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Are you talking about boxing or UFC?
UFC, the
Volkanovski.
Yeah. The UFC card was awesome. Loved it. Good?
Dana, right?
Yeah.
Dana.
Go ahead.
Dana, I was going to ask you, as you guys are doing what you're doing right now, how much of this is sort of like a showcase to the fighters out there? Like, this is the way we perform. This is the production you're going to see. This is what you're going to get if you come and join us. Sort of to flex who you are.
I wouldn't say it's a showcase or a flex. This is what we're putting on shows. We're going to bring in, tonight you saw two young, talented guys, undefeated, 14-0, 11-0. You're going to see a lot of that this year. So at the end of 2026, if you're still undefeated, it'll actually mean something. You've fought some real guys, and you made it through the year.
Are you seeing, I guess my question is, are you seeing like a lot of fighters come to you now that you guys are in business and saying like, hey, we want to be part of this?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of kids here tonight, and, we've been meeting with and talking with people all week. So, yeah. And I told you guys, we have some pretty crazy announcements that'll be coming out over the next couple of weeks. So, I'm way further in this thing than I anticipated being just 2 shows in.
One word to describe Zuffa Boxing 2, action. What do you have?
Exciting.
Momentum.
Okay, that's it for us as we close the second chapter of Zuffa Boxing knockouts, barn burners, and career rejuvenation. That is it for us. We will see you in 2 weeks back here live from Vegas.